Welcome to the Tom Bernard Podcast with the family and
co-host Catherine Brandt
and Debra Bernard.
And Kristen Burt.
See, it's all you need to know right there, right?
Yep.
Yes.
Got to turn these up a little bit. There we go. We're
There
good to
we
go. So, boy, sure getting a lot of comments about, hey, I listened to the show for the first time today. You were reading.
That was because of the contest for Jack's Cafe. There are a lot of people that all of a sudden are listening.
Yeah.
$100.
People like contests.
They really
Yes,
do like
they do.
contests.
I remember one of the first things we did on the show, contest.
Yep.
Not a good. We didn't do it well.
And we've had some really great comments.
Yeah.
Somebody posted a
Yeah.
picture of themselves with the Bucky Beaver.
Ah,
Bucky's.
Yeah.
The Buckies.
And a lot of people were like first time listening because of the I love Jack's Cafe. We still have a matchbook from when we went there 10 years ago. Because I guess every time I don't know if they still do it. Do they?
What?
When you make a reservation, they give you matchbooks with your names on it.
matchbook.
Oh, yeah, they used to do that.
I thought it was
That's
more of a
right.
special occasion thing, but I guess they used to do it for every reservation. One
Huh.
guy said, I went there on my anniversary with my wife, and they said, then the matchbook said my name correctly and misspelled her name. I've
Well,
divorced
it'll
her, but I still love Jack's.
Well, see, now there you go. That's exactly it, isn't
There are a
it?
lot of really funny comments.
But yeah, I just it's been a lot of very, very positive comments, very nice things you're saying, and it's nice to read that stuff.
It is. It's very
And-
nice. A lot of people bringing up old time KQ bits.
99% of the time, though, people said, "Oh, I would have listened a couple of years ago, but the Q said you retired."
Yeah, well, that was really
Which
nice.
I don't
of her.
understand how they got away with that legally. They fired me. They knew
You
they
didn't sue.
Well,
Yeah, I
I
should've sued
guess
him. Yeah, you're
we
right.
actually talked to an attorney, and they said since you're a public figure, anybody can say anything they want
That's
about you.
kind of true. Yeah.
to lie and ruin
Yep.
your business.
Yep. It's called New York Times versus Sullivan.
Oh,
One of my least favorite Supreme Court rulings of all
Yeah,
time.
I guess
I
that's
would
just how
imagine.
things are.
I would imagine so. What are you going to do? But speaking of politics, Ryan Winkler and Pat Garofalo. Remember we used to have them on?
Yeah.
Yeah, they
It's been a while.
they reached out and I want them on the show and they want to be on the show. So Andy we'll have to tee up Ryan
Works for
and
me.
Pat.
Okay.
They're really, really good. What's great about that, Kristen, is one is a Democrat and one is a Republican, and they're
Mhm.
really good friends.
That's nice.
I mean,
It's
how-
rare in this day and age.
It's very rare.
You should be
these
able to be
days.
friends with people.
Very, very rare these days. And then I don't know. It's what a world. That's all I have to say is what a world.
Mm.
Ladies and gentlemen, Kristen Burt Entertainment News brought to you by North American Banking Company. Go to nabanco.com to learn more. Member FDIC, equal housing lender. So what's going on in Hollywood?
I have sad news for you.
Oh,
Uh-oh.
what?
The Bondsman has been canceled.
I love the Bonds. What?
I know.
It's such a weird show.
not getting another season.
Oh.
They asked Kevin Bacon if he knew why. He's like, I honestly don't know why it got canceled. It did pretty well in like the first few weeks, trending in the top 10 for
Right.
Amazon on Prime Video, but it just didn't retain its audience. So
It is very
no
strange.
season 2.
Oh, that's too bad because I really like Kevin Bacon. Whatever he's in, I go see it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, when you're watching it, you're like, this is a very strange show. But he's so good in it.
He is really good.
Yeah.
And by the way, a young guy, he's probably late teens, early 20s, I used that phrase in front of him. I said, oh, yeah, I'd go see that. He goes, what do you mean you'd go see it?
Yeah.
Because
That's-
nobody goes to the theaters
Yeah.
anymore.
Nobody goes to the theaters.
No going.
I had no idea what the hell I was talking about.
We're also watching
go see it.
another very strange show with Tom Segura. He's been on this show
Oh,
before.
my God.
He has a new special. It's like 6 episodes. What's it called? Bad Ideas?
Bad company.
Thoughts? Bad.
Bad idea. Bad something.
The answer is bad thoughts.
Bad
Bad
thoughts.
thoughts.
It is so bizarre.
It really is.
As you're watching it, you're like,
Jesus.
does this make me a strange person that I'm watching this show?
It's true.
The sense of humor is just so twisted. I mean, God bless him for getting this done. I don't know how he got any
Yeah, I
of
don't
this
either.
past.
On Netflix, in case anyone wants to watch it.
Yes, it's
So I just
on
like to make
Netflix.
sure.
It's really weird.
But he's so good. Like you said, he used to come on the show several years ago, and he was great when he came on the show. It's really, really
But
good.
it's like watching a train wreck.
Yes,
You know,
it is.
like you can't look away. It's just very like one of the premises was, and this is a tamer one. There's a country music star that is enslaving people because he can't come up with a good song. And so he's enslaving people so he can get a good idea.
Right.
And one woman challenges him and he likes that. And he feeds them all shrimp.
Yes.
He's like
he feeds
throwing them
shrimp.
shrimp.
It's just weird.
And she escapes and he catches her and it just gets worse from there. But that's like a tame one.
So it wasn't good.
I don't know what to say about it. It's
Yeah, I
good.
don't know if you're selling it.
Yeah.
No, I'm not selling it. I don't know. I mean, we keep watching, and while we know Tom, and
Right.
I mean, it is something that you've never seen before.
No, you've never seen it before.
If
There's
you
no
want
question.
something completely fresh and weird,
It basically is a show about a guy who's severely mentally ill, but he doesn't know it.
Yeah, maybe it does feel like that.
It kind of is. There's no
Yeah.
question. But I can't really say we enjoy it or hate it. It's just we watch it because it's so bizarre.
Yeah, it's kind of
There's something compelling about it that's bringing you back, though.
Yeah.
So maybe it's designed to make you feel uncomfortable. I've watched shows.
I think so.
I
Well,
keep on
that's-
going back to Handmaid's Tale. That show makes me so uncomfortable.
Yeah.
But Elizabeth Moss and her performance is so good. I keep on
right.
coming back.
I haven't done that last season. I just got so sick of the dark and dreary. I
Mm.
just couldn't do it
It's
anymore.
pretty dark. And the penultimate episode dropped today. And then next week is the series finale. And then they're going on to the Testaments, which will take place 15 years after Gilead. So I'm
Oh.
looking forward to that. Just
Okay.
continuing the story in a different way.
Well, would you agree with this? Apparently, Bad Thoughts has been compared to Little Britain.
Kind of, I suppose.
Because Little Britain is pretty weird.
Yes, it's very weird.
It is weird.
There's no question.
Maybe
about
we do like weird things.
Mm.
that. We like to tell you.
Maybe
that's good.
it's us.
MB in the chat wants to know your opinion on Duster, Kristen.
On Duster, I have not watched Duster yet. In fact, I haven't even heard of it.
Duster.
Duster.
Either.
It is a
Oh, it's a
thriller.
Max. Max with Josh Holloway.
Getaway driver for a growing crime syndicate goes, crazy stuff happens.
Oh.
There you go. And set in 72.
Huh.
All right then.
It's called
Yeah,
what?
Duster.
Duster.
Duster. It's a series. So it's a series set in the 70s, and Josh Holloway. It's kind of like one of those 70s like car thrillers. You know what I mean? Like lots of old classic cars, that kind of thing. I haven't heard much on it. Like I think visually it looks really good, but I haven't heard a lot of people talking about it.
Okay.
Well, there you go.
And
I
we made
understand.
it through an episode of White Lotus.
I still
And
don't
what'd you
understand
think?
why.
Where are you? Are you at season
the
1,
guy-
episode 1?
Yeah.
Yes. Why we have to see that guy's entire package on screen, I don't get.
That's the new thing is penises everywhere.
There are.
Wiener, wiener,
Yeah,
wiener.
wieners
wiener,
everywhere. I don't know.
What the hell?
But boobs are everywhere.
That's
But
true.
boobs are at
Yeah,
least
that's true.
attractive.
That's true.
There you
Sorry.
go. There you
Yeah,
go.
wieners are not a.
No.
There
But
you
White
go.
Lotus is so good.
All right.
Especially season 3 was good, but seasons 1 and 2 to me were just incredible. And I think that's probably because I just love the casting with that.
Yeah, I like everybody on it. We'll watch a couple. Yeah, we always give the first episode some grace because
Yeah.
they're setting it up
Yeah.
and all that stuff. And a lot of times the first episode isn't that great anyway.
The other good
So we'll
news
watch
for
a few.
them is the fact that it's pouring rain here and will be for another day and a half. So
Yeah.
we're going to stay in the house
gonna
and
be
watch
some-
television.
Yeah, there will be some TV watching.
Yep.
Well, Jennifer Coolidge will keep you entertained in White Lotus.
She's so she's always kind of like the same person. Wasn't she just in another strange show not too long ago about a haunted house or something, or a house that people wanted?
Jennifer who?
Coolidge.
Coolidge.
Jennifer Coolidge.
She's got long blonde hair. She's kind of
I mean, she's known for so much between
Who's in the Minecraft
Legally
movies?
Blonde. What was that?
It was just recent. It was a series. few years ago.
She did Two Broke Girls. I'm just trying to think what else.
That was
she
a
The
did
great-
recently.
Watcher,
The Watcher. That's what it was.
married couple who moved into their dream home, creepy letters, stalker.
Yeah. The creepy letters. Yeah.
There you go.
Gee, do we
yeah.
never get any of those creepy texts or letters or anything? Holy Christ. That's one thing about social media I'm not a big fan of.
Yeah. Well, whenever you got a platform,
Mhm.
Yep.
You
It
got to
gets-
take the good and the bad with it.
You
right.
do.
And luckily,
I
the bad
understand.
isn't that bad because
No, it's not that
Yeah.
big a deal, but we should probably take a break here, ladies and gentlemen. Be right back with Kristen Burt right after this. From Bradshaw and Bryant, Michael Bryant. What's up, Allie?
Oh, not much. Doing my usual thing of telling people they shouldn't be texting and driving. In Minnesota, you can't have your phone in your hands. You can use, hands free, but you can't have your phone in your hands for whatever reason. And that's why they made the law the way they did, so that police officers could see a phone in your hand and you got no excuse for why you got it there.
Do people know that that's the law?
I hope so. I mean, they used to follow it, and then kind of COVID kind of made people forget. And now it's like a freewheeling world out there with cell phones.
Let's say you get pulled over because you do have a phone in your hand and you're not watching where you're going. You got to be in pretty big trouble then, I would guess.
Well, the first one's not as bad. It's the multiple ones, the problem. And once people start stacking them up, then they have a big problem. And then what we're doing in car accidents is we've started bringing motions for punitive damages, because I'm trying to use the civil law any way we can to stop this, because it needs to stop.
Whenever I'd had any problems in my life, who was that I called again? It was like an MB something like that.
Bradshaw and Bryant.
And we'll have Michael in the studio later on this week. That's good. Extra is ordinary in Sioux Falls. Just look at the numbers. In addition to having a business-friendly tax environment, well, that's underlined, by the way. Business-friendly tax environment is underlined, with no personal or corporate state income taxes. Sioux Falls is growing, has a large, well-educated workforce. Cost of living is low, with a central location and developed industrial parks. So it's your cost of living doing business. That's good. Contact Sioux Falls Development Foundation to connect with tools and resources to stop searching for a perfect business site and start growing in Sioux Falls. It's the number one most affordable city, according to Empower. Number two best job market, according to Smart Asset. And it's the number 3 in economic growth, according to Polycom. Sioux Falls ranks first in the nation for total bank assets with $3.5 trillion. So South Dakota is one of the most business-friendly states in the country. And the place to take advantage of those incentives is Sioux Falls. As the state's largest city with a metro population over 290,000, Sioux Falls has low business costs with a high quality of life. There's no state or corporate personal income tax, none of that stuff. No inheritance tax, no limits. That's amazing. They have no inheritance tax. That's very unusual, I think. And no limits to what your business can achieve. Number 1 best small city for business and careers, according to Forbes. Number 2 best state business tax climate, according to Tax Foundation. And the number 5 top state for e-commerce, according to Nexus, Sioux Falls, South Dakota. Ladies and gentlemen, Kristen Burt Entertainment News brought to you by North American Banking Company. Go to nabanco.com to learn more. Member FDIC, equal housing lender. So what else?
FUBAR season 2 is on its way.
FUBAR season 2.
Yeah, with Arnold Schwarzenegger. I know you watched that last season.
Did I?
did we?
Yes.
Well, everything
Fubar.
he does is so different. That's
Well,
I
yeah,
know.
he's got one character for sure.
he's
He
got-
does. He's playing Arnold, playing just like the insert
Mhm.
the profession that he's now playing, but he
Yep.
plays like a retired spy with one last mission. Fortune Feimster's in it. Carrie Ann Moss
Oh.
is joining season 2. They just dropped the trailer today for season 2, but it is coming your way, I think, June 12th.
Okay, and don't text in and say that I made Arnold Schwarzenegger sound like he was Spanish, because I know I did.
Your accents are that good.
Hey man, it's me, Arnold Schwarzenegger.
So
I'll be back.
I'll be back.
Well, it's an Austrian accent, but it's specifically like a country Austrian accent.
Yeah.
I've
that's
heard they
true.
had to redub him in like the German version
Oh.
because if he did his own dub, people think he sounds like a country bumpkin.
Oh.
His accent
Oh.
is like the German equivalent of being like, "Howdy, y'all.
Oh.
I'll
okay.
be back." You hear?
Well, and he's also been hanging around with the Kennedys, and the Kennedys have their own accent.
Right.
So
Yes, they
That's
do.
true.
he spent years with that. So who
That's
knows?
Very true. No question about it. But I do like Arnold Schwarzenegger. What was his first movie again? Like all
Oh.
those years ago was
Terminator? No.
No, it's
No,
long
before
that.
Terminator, didn't he do?
What was it called?
It's not Thor, but
His first big movie. I
It's
mean, he was
kinda
Conan
like
the
Thor.
Barbarian. That was probably
Conan the Barbarian was probably the
There
big
you
one.
go.
Yeah,
probably
that's
his
what it was.
first big
That's
role,
gotta
I
be
think.
it. Mm.
Yeah.
hmm
The boys put together, I will tell you that. My God.
Let's see, that was 1982.
But he had been like on Muscle Beach and Venice, like been, Mr. Universe and Mr. World. He'd been very well known in the weightlifting world.
Yeah,
Wasn't he a Mr. Universe or something like
he was
Yeah.
something like
Yeah,
that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just said Mr. Universe or Mr. World, one of those.
The only problem with that is usually if you use, let's see,
Steroids?
helpful aids, you do not live that long. I had a number of friends I used to lift with the weights
Yeah.
with, and all of them but one, me and one other guy, are dead.
Arnold's still thriving.
Yeah,
I
he
don't
is.
Let's see,
know
how old is he?
if he was in the steroid generation. Was he?
77. He absolutely.
Oh, he was.
Yeah, 100%. Especially for the 80s with all
Yep.
the action stars when he and like Sylvester Stallone were rivaling each other.
Oh.
The bigger the muscles, the better. And there
Mhm.
was a really good article. I think I've talked about it before. It was in Hollywood Reporter. Now we're probably going back a decade, but women's dirty little secret, they would always say, is like a facelift. But
Mhm.
men's dirty little secret is doing steroids
Yep.
or, human growth hormones.
Mhm.
Because they're like, after about 35, you cannot build these ginormous muscles like you
Right.
see with Dwayne Johnson.
Right.
Well, then how do you
Um,
explain me?
Yeah.
Exactly, Andy. So you
That's
are
right.
Exception.
an anomaly.
Nation.
But
Nature.
or you see like Hugh Jackman like get completely jacked for Wolverine and then go back to skinny. And you can't just naturally do that
Yeah.
because as you age, things just
Right.
change.
And a
So-
big problem is that a lot of people think that that's all natural and even average sometimes.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
There's a lot of people online. It's like, oh, I want like an average physique, like Jason Momoa kind of thing. It's like, how warped is your view of reality that this to you is like achievable if you just eat a lot of protein?
Yeah,
Right.
they think that it's just like that you're around the clock eating eggs and steak
Yep.
and things
Right.
like that.
Right.
When the studio is hiring trainers, allegedly, that are shooting the celebrities up.
Oh
Mhm.
yeah.
They sure are.
And I mean, and this article's old. It is still online. It's still available, and it was the Hollywood Reporter. So it's worth reading because it is kind of astonishing when you look at it. But every time I hear Hugh Jackman go, "Oh, I don't want to go through the process again," in my head, I'm like, "You don't want to go through all the drugs again."
Right.
Yeah.
That's exactly right. I will tell you, back in the day, now we're talking, 35, 40 years ago when that started. Steroids came around about 35 years ago, didn't they? Something like that. I'm thinking
No.
I think longer than that. 'Cause,
maybe longer. Maybe it was 40 years ago or
Yeah,
whatever.
I think 40 because you'd go back to the 80s if it's 40 years. That's hard
Yeah,
to
that's
believe.
right.
Yeah.
Well,
Oh,
and
yeah.
the amazing thing is I never did steroids. My biggest bench press ever was 320 pounds. The world record, the last I checked, was not 320 pounds. It's 1,150 pounds. 4 times almost as
They
much
can
as
lift
I
a
could bench.
car.
Yeah, they could lift a car.
Let's see. Early misuse started in the 1950s.
There you go.
Oh,
All the way back.
Russian
Yeah.
weightlifters,
Oh.
Yes.
Russia,
of
Russia.
course. It's always like the doping.
Yeah.
Russians and the doping.
Oh, I remember, when I was a kid, I remember the joke about Russians in the Olympics, like the female
Oh,
competitors and the
yeah.
Swimmers.
the females had more testosterone than the men did.
They did. It's
Yeah.
true.
Swimming
Well-
and biking were huge.
Yep.
Yeah, they had to ban it, right, from the Olympics because
did, yes.
there was so much misuse.
Andy,
And
would
then we
you
had
look up
Lance
and see-
Armstrong.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
right.
Oh, yeah.
He was
on the
doping.
bike.
Yeah.
He was
He was
doping.
doping.
Yeah.
And would you look up and see what the world record bench press is now? Because it was 1150 the last time I checked. God, I hope it didn't get much higher. I will tell you.
Let's see. Are we talking equipped or unequipped?
What do you mean equipped or unequipped?
Equipped means they wear all these special suits and stuff that makes them.
yeah, equipped then because that's they'll have a
You don't
higher
wanna
number.
pop a hernia.
That'd be 1,400 pounds.
1,400.
Yeah, but I mean, you look at these guys and their arms are literally like an ant lifting a pebble kind of situation. It's like,
True.
when you're only lifting something 2 inches, it's a lot less impressive.
Me
But
doing
it's
my
still-
5-pound weights.
Yeah, there
I'm
you
like,
go.
oh,
But
ow.
unequipped is still 885.
Is it still
885?
885.
God.
Yeah, just like wearing a tank top.
I
Yeah.
wonder what is the highest bench press ever without steroids.
Well,
Good luck finding that
yeah,
information.
never
Yeah.
find it.
They
Because
would
you're never going to know. Because
Yeah.
everyone's going to say, I don't do steroids. I don't do human
Yeah.
growth hormones. Like, I don't,
Right.
Yep.
you don't believe that. I mean, especially now, like when I even think about it in terms of women, not doing hormones, but doing the facelift. Like everyone's coming in with a new face lately. Kris
Right.
Jenner just emerged with a new face, and they're very subtle and natural looking, but they're like, oh, it's just, my new skin regimen. I'm like, come on.
yeah, that's selling on Instagram.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was like,
Yeah,
that's
I just saw
it's-
one today. They had a close up of a droopy eye, and then the eye just kept getting wider and wider, and it was just a cream. Can just
Mm,
A cream
open
did
your
it.
eye like that. It's
There
just
you go.
Yeah,
astonishing.
there's a specific doctor in New York who's doing all the celebrities. Like Anne Hathaway just came out with a new face, Lindsay Lohan. You sit there and you're like, they're all going to the same doctor. They look great.
Yep.
well, here's an
Oh,
interesting article I just found about old school bench press records.
Oh God.
okay.
So 1898, the first bench press record ever recorded, because before that, people were too busy
1898.
dying of cholera to care.
True.
361 pounds.
Ooh, I almost got within that.
Ooh.
320.
That was the world record for 18 years,
Mhm.
and then it was beaten by 2 pounds. So
Yeah.
people before steroids, 365 was like the human peak.
Well, that's probably
Yeah.
what it would be then.
And then all of a
Yeah.
sudden, testosterone was isolated and they started giving it to people. Then some guy got 400, then
Mm.
450,
Mm,
then 500,
Oh, God.
right after testosterone was first isolated.
okay.
So basically, 400 pounds is not really a thing that people can do without steroids.
I came within 45 pounds of the world record.
There
Hey,
you
look
go.
at you.
Damn.
I think I did 100 once.
Well, that's probably
So-
about that's not a bad thing.
Well,
at
if you
all.
lift 103 times, there you go. 300 pounds.
300 pounds. Yeah, that's exactly
Just
right.
do reps.
God, it was so amazing watching those guys and the sweat that would come off of them. Like, oh my God.
Well, that's the other thing. It's like you hear these horror stories about people doing squats with
Mhm.
hundreds and hundreds of pounds,
Mhm.
like their lumbar spine just snapping right in half.
Oh God.
Yep.
Ouch.
I bet.
Well, because I mean, think about it. When you're benching, you got 400 pounds on your shoulders, and you're squatting.
hmm
All of that weight is going through your spine, and your spine
Yeah.
isn't that thick.
Oh, my
No.
spine hurts just thinking
I
about
know.
it.
So, yeah. And that's another thing is I think in the 1800s, people probably didn't do that because they were like, why should I risk not being able to walk ever again just so I can
Right.
look cool? So
Yeah.
there's
Right.
that too.
I don't know. When we had COVID lockdowns, they still let us have the gym open in our condo. And I used to go down there, and I guess other gyms were maybe closed. I don't know. But the big muscly guy that walks around our building all the time, he was in there with a couple of guys. I think they were just his friends. And they would do the whole grunting, groaning,
yeah, that
would
farting,
be feeling.
sweating.
yeah.
And I'm like, I don't want
Smelly.
to be in here
Mhm.
with this whole thing. And then they're like so huge, they just take up all of this space, and you just
Yeah.
didn't feel like
It's true.
it's just a condo gym.
It's like when men it's like when men go to a Pilates class. I don't know if you've ever had that, and then they sit there and they go, oh, and you're like, this is a Pilates class. You're supposed to like breathe and relax, and it's
Yeah.
supposed to be like gentle, and then you just have this like stinky man just like
Oh, yeah.
sweating all over the place and being like, oh, because
Jesus.
Pilates is very, very hard, and it isolates muscles that are
It's
very different
really
than weight
hard.
training.
Yes.
Very hard. But when they sit there and disturb the peace, like I stopped going to one particular class because a
No.
woman kept bringing her husband, and he would get upset and he would start swearing, and I'm like, it's not fun. And the teacher didn't do anything to regulate that.
I know. I
What a
don't know.
world.
I feel like there should be like the muscle gyms for the muscle guys.
Well, there are.
You know,
Gold's
Just
Gym.
Go there.
Yep, exactly.
Don't go to the condo gym.
Yep.
Yeah. Go to Gold's
Please.
Gym and have fun. But yeah, during COVID, it was weird because things were open, things were closed.
Yeah,
They were open, closed. It was crazy.
it was crazy.
It was indeed.
And I
What a
basically stopped
world.
going to the condo gym because I'm like, I don't want to run into those people, but they're probably not there anymore.
Probably not.
Probably not.
I mean, it was a whole. Well, I loved the gym out in Plymouth. That was a great place to lift weights.
Oh, it was actually called the gym.
That's called the
Yeah.
gym. It was owned by Hawk and Animal.
Oh, that was a muscly place. right?
Oh,
Yeah.
that was a very
Yeah.
muscly place.
Mhm.
But you always had fun. Everybody's just happy to see you and all the rest of it. You didn't want to piss anyone off. I would say that.
No.
Let's not make anyone angry.
And
I
I'm
used to go to the Lifetime Fitness that was in I think
Yeah.
Eden
Mhm.
Prairie, maybe.
Eden
Was that
Prairie.
it?
There's one in
Yep.
Eden Prairie. There's
Yep.
one in St. Louis Park.
there's one
there's
right, like,
ones all over the
Not
place.
far from here.
They just built a
I-
new one down in Florida, and it's like $800 a month.
Yeah.
It's
$800
so
a month.
expensive.
That's crazy. I
Crazy.
lived at that gym in the winter because I was
Yeah.
so bored. Because I'm not a big drinker and I wasn't going to go ice fishing. So I would just live at the gym.
The two things to do in Minnesota: ice
Right.
and drink.
So, but it was so much fun because they had so much there. They had indoor pools and they had places to have snacks and they could take a Pilates class. I just stayed there for hours on
Yeah, a
weekends.
lot of people work there. They've got their laptops and they're just hanging out at the gym.
Yep.
Yep. I would meet friends. We would socialize. I was like,
Yeah.
I'll be at the gym if you're looking for me.
Well, let me put it this way, ladies and gentlemen. It's that time again where, I'm always so happy when I see Kristen Burt, and then she just bails on us.
Hmm.
You know,
Takes off.
just
Had a
goes away.
life. Oh dear.
Oh gosh, so rude of me.
Life. We will talk to you tomorrow, though.
See you all tomorrow.
Thanks a
Bye.
lot. Kristen Burt
Bye-bye.
Entertainment News brought to you by North American Banking Company. Go to nabanco.com to learn more. Member FDIC, equal housing lender. We'll take a break. Be right back. Chris Eggert from Channel 5 Eyewitness News will join us right after this. Why should your business bank with North American Banking Company? Here's Brian Thiel, president of Abrasives of St. Paul.
What I like best about North American Baking Company is the small town feel with great products and very good service. And I love the people. I would definitely recommend North American to other business owners. A lot of banks I could choose from, and North American Banking Company is the one.
So why not bank where I bank? With my friends at North American Banking Company. Go to nabanco.com to learn more. That's nabanco.com, or stop by any one of their 6 Twin Cities locations. Member FDIC, equal housing lender. For Brad, John Bryant, Michael Bryant. Michael, what's up?
Dealing with another case where a person gave a statement to the adjuster because they thought the person was really friendly.
Is that a good idea?
Well, the problem is they know the law when they call you up. And while you're trying to be fair and you're trying to get help, the reality is there are questions you get asked that the way you answer them make a big difference. And people put themselves in trouble. And when they aren't in trouble, they didn't do anything wrong, but suddenly the adjuster's got a statement that can blow up their case completely.
What has caused people to be so untrustworthy, I guess is the best way I could put it? They take advantage.
Well, insurance companies have hired adjusters whose job it is to deal with unrepresented people. So they're supposed to kind of lure them in, call them every day, see how they're doing. And people are like, oh, I'm doing pretty good. Where the reality is they've kind of adjusted to their problem that they've got going on. So it's not that they're completely better, but the way they say it gets to be a problem. And that's why having somebody who can explain your rights, represent you, make sure that you understand the law before you give a statement can make a big difference in your case.
Michael Bryant, Bradshaw and Bryant. Ladies and gentlemen, Channel 5's Chris Eggert is brought to you by Mr. Money Talk, Josh Arnold. Call Josh today for your free 48-minute evaluation at 952-925-5608. This segment of the Tom Bernard Show brought to you by Josh Arnold. Oh, look at you all dolled up. What's that? Was it your cool high school sweater? What are you wearing there?
This is what I have to wear for one of my 3 jobs.
Well, you have 3 jobs.
Well, I do the news in the morning
Yeah.
from 5:30 to 7. Then I change clothes into something more sporty and casual for Minnesota Live,
Sure.
which is from 9 to 10. And then depending on the day, the Tom Bernard Show could be my 3rd job, or maybe WCCO Radio could be my 3rd job,
Right.
4th job. So, yeah.
So who do you work with over at CCO?
Well, if I'm filling in, it's usually for Chad or DeRusha.
Oh, that makes sense.
Yeah.
That makes sense. Matter of fact, I just got a message from Jason. Jason's a good guy. Well, Chad, I've known since he was a kid. I mean,
Yeah.
Because of Sydney. I love Chad Hartman. He's a great guy. And Jason DeRusha and I are getting to know each other, and I really like the guy. So
Yeah, he's a funny dude. You got to get his sense of humor, and if you don't, I mean, you've got to get his sense of humor for sure.
I understand that. Look, a lot of people don't catch on to that kind of thing, and they get all pissed off at you. It's like, we're joking around. Calm down.
Yep.
Relax.
Aren't you guys glad you came back to this awesome
Yeah,
weather?
just freaking fabulous.
All right. First question as a newsman, I have to ask you: there's not going to be a doubleheader for the Twins today?
I don't think so. I don't know how. I don't know how they could.
Yeah,
I
they were
don't see
rained
it.
out last night. They only got what, 2 innings in?
No, 4.
Oh, they got
Well,
4.
3. I think we're going into the 4th inning.
Oh.
I think. I'm not sure.
Well, I mean, I guess they got to try, right? But I think they adjusted the time today to maybe 5:10, a 5:10 start time.
Yeah,
But
5:10 and then
I-
7 o'clock. Or something.
our weather guys are like, the thing's just parked on us right now. In
Yeah.
fact, I know we're getting people who are their roofs are leaking. I mean, it's going to be a problematic rain. I don't think there's any doubt about it.
We're gonna have flooding
Yeah.
next. You know how that is.
Yeah.
We're dry. It's flooding.
I mean, I think it was that way last spring too, Catherine. You know
It's the way it goes.
yeah, it's true.
It is true. What's any big news we should know about? Anything happening?
I just when let me look at my phone for a sec because an alert came off just a moment as I was driving back home. It's about the vaccine requirements for students, and it had to do with. I'm trying to pull up the alert right now, and now I'm not seeing it.
They're taking away the requirement that
Yes.
the children have to be vaccinated with COVID.
Yep.
Oh, that's
for
good.
COVID.
It's about
So-
time.
Yes, I agree. And that what I read is they have to have a much larger long-term study
I
on
think.
the vaccination.
Yeah, I'm trying to see if one of the courts ruled. Yeah, I of course the second I need to pull it up right now, I can't.
How it works.
The other big thing on the local level is we've been watching those fires up north, and unfortunately, none of this rain is going to get
Right.
close enough. It's like basically it's like there's a force field that's stopping any of this from even moving up there, which is ridiculous. So all that fire that's burning, I think they covered a little bit of ground on it in St. Louis County yesterday. One of them is now 8%, where the day before it was 0% contained. So, I mean, they're getting there, but yeah.
Well, that's too bad.
I'm sitting here just pining away for the days when they were playing in the dome.
Oh,
The game would have been on today.
Hey,
No problem.
I know. I think about that all the time. And particularly in the spring, where it's always just never really perfect.
I
Yep.
mean, it was a terrible stadium, but at least you could play in the rain. So that
I remember thinking, why are they putting an open air dome for baseball? Because the season is so early and the weather's not good
Yeah,
here in
yep.
May ever. Really? I mean, you're always going to get rained out. It's always cold. I mean, yes, you had a week or two of nice weather, but that's very rare.
I mean, it always comes down to a cost thing, right? Like they tried so hard to get that stadium built, and the cost was an issue. And as I recall, there was a version of it that had a lid on it, but that was going to be too expensive, and so you dial it back, right? And I mean, now in retro, when you look back at it, you're like, geez, that seems silly that they just didn't figure out a way to put
How much did the stadium cost? It couldn't have been cheap.
retractable roof on it. Yeah.
The new one?
What's
it called? It's just Twin Stadium?
It's Target Field.
Target Field, right.
Yep.
Look, I
mean-
don't know. It cost $555 million.
Holy.
That's all?
It's a really nice stadium.
That
too.
actually seems cheap these days.
Well, that was also in 2010.
Yeah.
That was 15 years ago already.
Okay.
So
I would
It is a beautiful stadium.
I would say that right now our stadiums are the best they've ever been. US Bank Stadium is phenomenal.
Yeah.
There's no question about
They are
that.
nice.
we're going to
Target Field.
calculate some inflation. 555 then is 821 now.
Whoa.
I just,
So there you go. Almost $1 billion.
but if you think about it, if you put a roof on it, you can use it for concerts and other things.
I know. I don't know why they don't just put like a retractable kind of roof thing or an inflatable roof, something.
I don't know.
Well, one of the issues is, have you guys ever been to Safeco Field out in Seattle?
Yes,
No,
of course.
I
I have
haven't.
not.
All right. So the difference is Safeco is built in a part of downtown that's not surrounded by tall buildings. So in their particular case, their retractable roof actually like rolls back and comes off over the stadium, but they need the footprint on the other side of it for
Right.
that.
I suppose.
And so in this particular case, they didn't have that real estate because they plopped the building,
Yeah.
right down in between
Mhm.
the other tall buildings. It'd have to be one of those roofs where it would only be able to open and close partially because the roof's got to
Yeah.
go somewhere. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I suppose.
I don't know.
But-
The stadiums are very nice though in this state now. They're very nice.
Well,
Get a bunch of drones to hold umbrellas up over the whole thing.
There you go.
What do you think?
That wouldn't be loud at all.
No.
No problem.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I'm sorry. Well, we get maybe a nice. Are they here this weekend too? I didn't see how many games they're in town for.
I don't know if they're here this
Well,
weekend or
yesterday
not.
was the first day of the series with the
Cleveland.
Guardians, right?
Cleveland, yep.
So
Let's see. Are the Twins going to be here soon?
what happens when they have the 3-day washout? Do they have makeup games?
Well, because they're in conference, I think they're a little bit easier to make up
Okay.
from what my understanding is versus games that wouldn't be within our division. So
Oh,
So
all
if it says Royals Twins, does that mean Twins at the Royals?
It all depends.
Oh, okay. Well, then I think maybe the next time they're going to be here is the 26th.
26th, okay.
Oh, wait, no. No, that's the. Also, when they're at the top, that's when they're at the other one. So actually, tomorrow, the Guardians are at the Twins.
Yeah,
So there you go.
Yeah.
that's correct.
I
But it's
think
gonna
it's
rain
probably
all
not
week.
going to be.
But yeah, it's
tomorrow's
going
not
to
looking great either.
be
No.
Friday. Well, looks like the Royals are at the Twins 23rd, 24th, and 25th. So, I mean,
That's
Good.
supposed to
There
be
you go.
beautiful days. It's supposed to
Yeah.
be very
there you
nice.
Oh,
go.
good.
Yeah, weekend should be good. So
But then the
hopefully.
Twins are out until June 6th. They're coming back.
I have a question for you, and you don't have to answer this or whatever, and then nobody does have to answer it. But Cleveland changed the name to the Cleveland Guardians,
Yeah.
and I don't understand. I mean, weren't they honoring Indians by naming the team the Cleveland Indians? Of course, they had the goofy mascot and all that, but that's whatever.
I gotta believe the mascot thing was 90% of it. I mean,
Probably.
that,
That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah. The mascot was weird.
What mask? Wasn't it the Redskins that people were mad
Not
about?
Washington.
yeah, but they were mad about the Cleveland Indians too because I think was it Chief Wahoo? Is that his name?
Right,
I
Chief
thought that
Wahoo.
was. Oh no, I thought that was
No,
the Redskins, but no,
No,
it's not.
it's both. The Redskins didn't have their mascot wasn't as
Oh,
Caricature.
aggressive as the Cleveland one
Yeah.
I
was,
see.
but the name Redskins is much more aggressive.
I'm gonna go with the Minnesota Honkies. What's wrong with that?
It will be true.
That'd be true. It's a very white state. There's no question about that.
I don't know about anymore.
Well, maybe not anymore, but
No.
what the hell? I
There's
just,
arguments for that.
like I said, I love the fact that Minneapolis, St. Paul stepped up because when I was a little kid, the big show in town, of course, is the Lakers when they would win the Minneapolis Lakers would win the championships and all that stuff. And then they left when I think I was 8. I think I was 8 years old when they left and went to Los Angeles. But then, in the 60, 61, all of a sudden we got a baseball team and a football team and, lost our basketball team. And that took a while to come back. The hockey was doing very, very, I do listen to our stars.
So we were talking about the hockey with the facilities. The hockey they cut way back. They tried to propose a big overhaul of Xcel Energy Center, and they obviously weren't getting the response that they wanted, and they dialed that way back. So it'll be interesting to see where that all ends up because they say that's a facility that needs to be redone. Target Center is going to be interesting where the Timberwolves play because they've got the new ownership.
Right.
And apparently one of the big things that Rodriguez and Lori want to do is not play there or have it, fixed or a new arena or something. So that's going to be interesting to see how that plays out too.
Well, where would they play if they didn't play there?
I don't know if they'd build a new one or what, but then it always gets into that thing. Well, are they going to move the team because they won't build them a new arena? And that'll be coming down the line once that whole thing gets put into place and the ownership officially changes hands and whatnot. I'll bet.
I want to step back a couple of steps here and just tell you how pissed off I am that Los Angeles gets to be called the Lakers and there aren't any lakes there.
That's a fair point.
I'm upset.
But the great thing is the Lakers aren't playing in the playoffs right now, and your Timber Pups are. So
I want to hear more
right.
about because you played college basketball. You're a hell of a basketball player.
I don't know if I was a hell of a basketball player, but I played. Yeah.
According to my references, you are. But honest to God, this team is looking good, really good.
Well, it's fun because it's 2 years in a row they've reached the Western Conference Finals.
Mm-hmm. Right.
There was a lot of expectation on them this year to get this far again. I think coming into this point, they seem to be a little more focused. They're not like really celebrating big after the games. It's like in the post game
yeah.
news conferences. It's just like, no, we're, focused on winning and focused on getting to the finals. But this Oklahoma City team is kind of built like we are, from what I can tell. They're younger, but they're a big up and comer. And I think I would have rather had us play Denver, because we pretty much took care of them for the most part during the regular season. I think we split with Oklahoma City this year. So it'll be a good series.
Who are the 4 teams left? It's obviously the 2 you mentioned.
Knicks, Pacers.
Knicks, Pacers. Okay.
Is that what it is?
I don't know. I haven't even checked on that because I'm reading
Yeah, I'm not
Timberwolves.
I'm not really following that other side of it too.
So Nick Spacers, is he a football player?
Knicks, Pacers.
It does sound like a name.
It does.
Knicks Pacers is what I was thinking.
I know.
He caught
I
up
know
with you on
enough
that
to
one.
know that.
He caught up with you on that one. That was
Just
good.
barely, but
Let's see.
What?
Yeah, it is Knicks Pacers. All right, I should have trusted my judgment.
And that's one thing about sports now. You have to ask, are the Pacers still in Indiana or?
Well, that's what I mean. And Oklahoma City, by the way, I'm very bitter about this. Oklahoma City team is the Seattle Supersonics.
Yes. Yeah.
Yes. Because I was working in Seattle when these Oklahoma businessmen came in, bought the team. And one of the first things that they brought up was they wanted a new arena.
Oh,
And
yeah.
the city of Seattle wouldn't do it. And lo and behold, 15 years later, they're playing for the Western Conference Finals, and that's not the Sonics anymore. That's Oklahoma City Thunder. So,
No.
Honest to God, well, you look at the change in just the past. God, when did the Pohlads first want to sell the Twins? That was a long, long time ago. But I think the asking price for the team was like $75 million. And what is it now? About $500 million?
well, it's definitely that the franchises their values have gone up in such a. Well, you got to wonder with, the markets being weird and the money being odd right now. Like,
yeah.
got to wonder who's willing to invest in the team. Maybe they would have got. I don't know.
Carl
That'll be-
Pohlad bought the Twins for $44 million.
God.
Current valuation is $1.5 billion.
1.5.
That's a pretty good take right there.
Well, I
would
thought
say so.
I thought they were like $500 million in debt.
They
or
are.
something.
Well, yeah,
They
I
are
suppose.
half
I
a
don't know if that
billion.
includes does that take their debt into account or not? I would assume so. I would assume it's net worth.
Well, what's interesting about that is even though the Twins are doing really well, the stands are not filled.
No, not at all.
No.
When you watch the games, that seems weird
Don't
to me.
fool me once, shame on you.
Baseball has now dropped to it was number one forever in America. It was America's team and America's
Wow.
sport. Now they're in third place because basketball and football have taken. The football is by far the biggest.
Basketball's bigger than baseball?
It has come to that
Really?
point where younger people like basketball more than they like baseball.
And
Huh.
basketball,
Game. It's a faster game.
Yeah.
And
part of it is because it's internationally, basketball has become like the
Yeah.
biggest thing internationally.
Really?
That's a big part
That
of
Oh,
it.
when I
makes
think
sense.
basketball, I think America.
Yeah,
But
I could see that. But there are a lot of teams all over Europe and everywhere now.
I
as
had
you
no
said.
idea.
Well, what I'm saying is the NBA's popularity is increased around the world.
Oh
Really?
God, yes.
Yes, a lot of that is because of think of like there's fewer teams. The players are superstars, superstar personalities. It's almost like the way you look at like Hollywood actors or something is a lot of times the way the basketball players are viewed overseas. So
Right.
Yeah.
that's what's making basketball. I think I don't know what the domestic numbers are, but that's been everything I've heard is it's internationally it's gotten so big that's what's kind of boosting that sport up.
And a different take on the word big. Catherine and I were watching the game yesterday before it started pouring rain, the Twins. And I cannot remember the last time the Twins had a pitcher who was 6'9"
Yeah.
and a fielder who's 6'8". It's like,
Yeah,
what?
you don't think of baseball players as terribly
No.
tall.
Hell no.
I think they used to kind of be. I mean, look at Kent Herbeck. He's very
Herbeck's a big guy,
tall.
6'5", yeah.
Average MLB height is 6'2".
6'2" for
So
the
actually, yeah, they are tall people.
average. But honest to God, a 6'9" pitcher. I got to believe
Kirby
his.
Puckett was little.
Yeah, he was little, yeah.
Was he?
Mhm.
I got to believe when he throws a pitch, he's almost touching your jersey by the time
Right,
that's going
right.
the ball.
Kirby
Well, I
Puckett-
think of Randy Johnson. I think of the big unit when I think
Yeah.
of a big tall pitcher like that.
Yeah,
but-
that's very true.
Well, they
Randy
should start.
Johnson.
They should start getting like these gigantic hulks to bat, so they could like do triple home runs out of the state.
Oh,
Well-
they hit the ball so far now, it's ridiculous.
Somebody was telling, it was just yesterday. Well, it was because I was over at CCO and they carry the Twins, and that they had this new big gigantic guy brought up. Maybe that's the guy you're talking about, Tom, the 6'8"
Yeah, it is.
dude.
Yeah, the
Yep.
right fielder.
Was he the right fielder?
I think he's the right fielder.
And because he's so gigantic, he like has shown promise at batting, but
Mhm.
it maybe hasn't come to fruition like everybody would hope it
Oh,
will. So
No, I have a question for you on that. Because he's so big at 6'8", he's got a much bigger strike zone, does he not?
Is that how it
theoretically,
works?
right?
Yeah, theoretically, he'd have to have a
Yeah.
bigger strike zone than everybody else, I would
But if you
think.
can't hit a curveball, it doesn't make any difference.
that's true.
Yeah, that's true. That's very, very true. By the way, Corey Provis and all the people that step in with him, he does a damn good job for the Twins. I think he does a really, really good. We should probably have him on the show one of these days. Does a damn
I
good.
think we had him on Minnesota Live once. He was really good. He's very
Yeah.
he's very straightforward.
Mhm.
But
what I
serious dude. But I don't know. That's I like that for a baseball announcer.
The strike zone does in fact scale with height.
It has to.
So there
it
you go.
absolutely has
Yeah,
to.
it wouldn't
There's
be
no question.
fair. Really.
I suppose that's.
Yeah.
Think back to the old days. We had Herb Carneal, who was just fantastic. There was Harry Carey down in Chicago. I mean, they're all very professional now, whereas back in those days, they were just schlubs that liked baseball. And Herb was great. Don't get me wrong. Herb was one. And so
I thought Herb was awesome. When I
He
think
was.
of Twins baseball, I can think of myself sitting in the car listening to AM radio and hearing Herb Carneal. That's like the first voice that comes to mind to me.
Yeah.
Yep.
Nostalgic to the good old days, right?
One of the
Mhm.
great things about working a lot in Chicago back in my voiceover days is I, spend the night a lot of times, and I'd watch the baseball games. And Harry would do things. It was just, I sometimes wondered if he knew even where he was. Because one time I'm watching the game and he goes, there was a guy back in the old days, and he goes to put his hands out like this. So he tips over his, what I'm assuming was a drink or a beer, because he was very upset. But he's, back in the old days, it was wonderful. And you had, what the hell? He knocks over his drink. What the hell? That was that was a great treat. Just a thrill to listen to Harry do baseball. It was wonderful.
I don't think they're letting them drink up there in the booth like they did
No,
back in the
not
day.
anymore.
I think you might be right about that. But we had, well, who the hell is the guy? Oh God, he was kind of like Harry Carey's age with the Twins, and he used to eat raw onions, like bulb onions,
gross.
during the game. What was his name? He's with Herb Carneal once in a while, and I cannot remember his name though. Got to listen to him for years. I'm surprised, but I haven't heard the name in so
Onion
long.
Eater. That can't be too hard to Google.
But I guess it was
Twins
really
raw
tough,
onion
Mm.
eater.
really tough to sit in the booth with a guy eating a raw onion.
Oh God, yeah,
Oh,
gross.
Yeah, thanks for the stink, pal.
Any idea, Andy? Like in the 60s?
Google has no idea.
Really?
Really?
Anyone want to text in at
Anybody in the chat?
Somebody's got to know out there.
612-361-6622 if you know the answer.
And by the way,
Why
thank you
not
for
help
calling.
out?
Thank you for commenting, calling. We get a lot more of that. The numbers have grown quite rapidly now,
Mhm.
Chris. And so
Good.
I'm sure that's because you're on the show. That's what the reason.
Clearly, yes. I'm a huge ratings draw.
No,
Is there still anti-Polad feelings
Nowhere
about the
near as much-
Twins? Because
no-
I
nowhere
remember
like it
people
used
were
to
like,
be.
"We're not ever going to a Twins game again until the
Right.
Polads sell," because they were so mad at them all the
Well, I
time.
guess since they're for sale now, they can't really be mad at them.
They are for sale.
yeah, they are,
Oh, okay. I
but they
didn't-
can't find a buyer. And I
MB
don't-
in the chat says something Perot or Peralt or something like that.
Perot, I don't think
She says Julie Peralt, but
Oh, Julie Perlt. That was the guy. That was the guy at the University of Minnesota.
Julie Peralt.
Perlt. Yeah. Like
Another one
P-E-R-L-T.
says Halsey Hall.
Halsey Hall. That's exactly who it was.
He ate the onions?
He ate raw onions in the booth.
Well, he died in 1977, so
Did
it's
he
been a
really?
while.
Yeah.
Holy yeah.
Wow.
That's
Jeez.
Maybe
my
all those
childhood.
onions did him in.
He was
I don't
born
know.
in 1898,
Halsey.
just right after the Civil War.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, he was kind of, not totally, but kind of the Harry Carey for the Twins. In a way, he was. But I know Herb Carneal used to get so upset because he eat those onions, and it just, the odor in that booth must
Oh.
have been just
Yeah,
disgusting.
apparently,
Well-
he would smoke a cigar, drink scotch, and eat green onions.
There you go.
If I did that, I would
There
be in the
you-
hospital
Yeah,
every
yeah.
day.
Halsey, we miss you. That's all I have to say.
Oh.
Halsey, I loved listening to you guys. It just, that's one thing about sports. Did you ever do sports announcing, Chris, in your career?
I did back in the day. I would
Oh,
do
you
some
did,
play-by-play. I mean, I didn't do it a lot, but I knew I do basketball games, so I knew the sport well enough to be able to at least describe what's happening. But that's an art to do it the right way.
Oh, there's no
I
question
bet.
about it. It's a huge part of sports, too. That's the other thing.
I
mean,
could never do that. I'm too ADD. I'd be like, oh, look, a bird flew. Oh, wait. What
Yeah,
just
you
happened?
can't do that.
I
That's
wouldn't
actually
be-
one of the only memories I have of the most recent Twins game I went to was a hawk landed on one of the poles, and everyone was like, "Look, a hawk!"
there was a highlight reel that Catherine and I
Oh,
watched last
yeah,
night.
with the rain delay they had on the MLB station, they had a bunch of
Yeah, they just play
old-
highlights.
Yeah, they just play old
Mhm.
stuff. And this guy, do you remember who it was?
No.
He threw a pitch and a dove just flew like
Oh,
right
yeah,
by, and he
I
just
saw that.
they're just
Destroyed.
feathers. He just
Oh, I remember seeing that.
Dove.
It literally
Oh
just
my
destroyed
God.
this bird.
Yeah, and then they
Well-
showed a kitten. Everybody's trying to get to this kitten is scratching the crap out of everybody, and they kept escaping.
I don't know how those animals
Skunk.
got into the stadiums. A
The-
skunk
the
got in one
skunk, that
time?
was actually really funny. The
It was
cameraman
hilarious.
was bailing. Everybody was bailing out.
It was
so
Randy
funny.
Johnson threw a fastball in
Yep, it
2001.
was Randy Johnson.
Oh,
Yep.
and yeah,
God.
hit a bird.
Talk about the weirdest timing thing in the world.
That's an unlucky bird.
Yeah, what's the likelihood of that ever happening?
Well, I think it's only happened one time.
I
Yeah.
can't
so-
imagine that it would ever happen.
Oh,
It
it
happened to him.
actually no. It looks like it has happened more than once.
Really?
In 2023, it looks like
Just 2 years.
Diamondbacks pitcher Zach Gallen hit a bird with a curveball.
Really?
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah, that is
I feel so
bizarre.
bad.
But other than that, it looks like it's no. There's a whole YouTube video. MLB birds getting hit.
Oh, God.
Birds are so stupid.
That's
When you're
terrible.
when you're driving 60 miles an hour and a bird decides to swoop right in, it's like, why
know.
are you doing that? Just
There.
wait the 1 second it takes for me to pass you, you
The
dumb bird.
term bird brain is for
Yeah,
a reason.
some
Oh.
birds
She's
are-
going to say that, Catherine.
Mhm.
Poor birds.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a whole highlight reel, and it's
Not
honest
the
to God, it's
smartest.
like, what was it, like a little muskrat that got in one time? He's
I
chasing
think
the
it
center
was a
fielder
possum,
around.
maybe.
A possum got
There was an
in.
owl that just sat on the field for no reason.
Yep, just sat there.
Landed and sat there.
And a hawk attacked one of the, I think it was a pitcher, and it literally attacked him by
Yeah.
pecking at his chest.
But that hawk had those leather things on its
Yeah.
legs, so it must have
It
been.
was a trained hawk.
A
Yeah, it must
trained
have been
hawk,
used
yeah.
for something, and then it went rogue.
It went rogue.
Yeah.
All right. Any other highlights we should know about in the news, Chris? I know you got to go in a couple of minutes.
Nah, just the rain. This rain thing's going to be,
Yeah.
it hopefully it'll start to let up tomorrow. It's not supposed to rain quite as much as it did today. So,
Okay.
oh, and I don't know if I mentioned, act surprised, the state legislature did not pass a budget. They have to go to a special session. There was all kinds of drama at the Capitol yesterday that ended in nothing getting done. So,
What do you know?
Surprise.
You know
That
what's really
never
amazing?
happens.
I have noticed in the last 2 to 3 weeks, something like that, people post meaner and meaner stuff about politics. My God, people.
Well,
are
our
pissed off.
politicians are mean.
Yeah,
are.
they sure
They're-
are.
Walls
are.
is really
You're right
getting
about
a
that.
lot of national attention for
He
his
is.
screaming about Nazi. That everyone's a
know.
Nazi. Trump's a Nazi. He was at a
Yep.
commencement speech. It's like, what are you doing?
Yeah,
You're
you shouldn't
supposed to
do
be
that.
That's how you get in the
giving
news
people,
cycle.
but you're supposed to be giving people hope and looking for the future, and great things are happening to you, and this is a wonderful time. And he goes right back to the Trump is a Nazi crap.
Yep.
It's getting so old.
I must agree.
It's time to move on.
One of our listeners wants you to tell the Halsey story about strikes and balls for Chris.
Strikes and balls.
I think I know the one that they're talking
he calls
about.
her on the.
Yeah.
That's what it was.
There's a couple, and
There's
yeah.
a couple in the stands,
Mhm.
and Halsey Hall said, I've been paying attention to this one couple down in the stands, and every pitch they want to say where it came from, what it's all about. As a matter of fact, an example is I've been watching them, and he calls her on the strikes, and she kisses him on the balls.
Oh,
He said it on television. That's not exactly what it was.
how many
but
scotches did he have?
he hugs her. He hugs her on
Hugs
the
her, yep.
strikes, and she kisses him on the balls.
Oh,
That's funny. That's awesome.
hey. Bad Halsey.
Hugs and kisses.
Mhm.
and what are you
I
gonna
get
do?
it.
Jesus. Well, I remember another time, and I know you got to go, Chris, but one other time, there was not a warm. This was out at the old Metropolitan Stadium.
Mhm.
There was a couple. It was not a warm day, and the couple were under a blanket and all that stuff. And a wind came up, blew the part of the blanket off, and the woman was topless.
Oh dear.
It's like, whoops.
Damn.
Yeah, damn indeed. What are you guys doing there in the stands? What's that all about?
Boy, I've never had that much fun at a baseball game. I can
Yeah,
tell
me
you
either.
that.
I know what you're saying. There's no question about that. Great memories though at old Metropolitan Stadium, and even the Dome. Like I said, they won 2 World Series in that Dome.
I know.
That's phenomenal. And I remember Herbeck told me that he would go up there on New Year's Eve and stand on the top of the bubble with like 5 people. They would stand up there and do a salute.
No, thank you. So what is there now? Is that where the target field is?
Yeah, no, it's where
It's where US Bank Stadium is.
Bank
Yeah.
Stadium. Okay.
Mhm.
Yep.
Yes, indeed. Chris, a brilliant report is all I have to say.
Stay dry, you guys. We'll talk to you next week.
Mhm.
Thanks a lot, ladies and gentlemen. Channel 5's Chris Egger, brought to you by Mr. Money Talk, Josh Arnold. Call Josh today for your free 48-minute evaluation at 952-925-5608. Back just a couple of minutes. More of the show. I'm talking with my friends Michael Bilski and Brad Huckle of North American Banking Company. Guys, business owners have had to deal with a lot over the last few years, haven't they?
They sure have, Tommy. We pride ourselves on being able to help our customers with the challenges they face.
Our business bankers are experts and are always ready to help our customers capitalize on opportunities and solve problems.
Loan decisions come quickly because they're made here in the Twin Cities and not shipped out of state like at some of the national banks in town.
This allows our customers to expand their businesses with confidence, knowing that they have our team of experts in their corner.
Okay, so now you give me this big thing at the end. Way to go.
Well, you are the professional.
Oh, I forgot. Look, I know Brad and Mike, and I trust them with my banking. They've personally delivered on everything they've just said. So why not bank with my banker? North American Banking Company, a better banking experience, member FDIC, equal housing lender. Does thinking about retirement make you uncomfortable? Sometimes the anxiety for wondering if you saved enough can be overwhelming. But what if I told you that you could ease those tensions in just 48 minutes? My guy, Josh Arnold, Mr. Money Talk, can sit down with you and get you on the right track for your financial future. Josh has navigated it all when it comes to uncertain market and economic conditions, and he'll always provide straight talk. Never sugar-coated advice on how to reach the finish line with your retirement goals. Don't let your financial worries give you an ulcer or keep you from calling Josh right now. His 48-minute no-obligation consultation could be just what you need to feel better about your future. Call Josh today at 952-925-5608. Set up your free 48-minute no-obligation consultation. That's 952-925-5608. Investment services offered by Josh Arnold Investment Consultant, LLC Security Investment Advisor. Past performance is no guarantee of future results. All investments must involve risk. You know that. All comments and opinions of Josh Arnold do not constitute investment advice. I am a paid endorser.
Maybe you could reconsider all the love you missed.
We are back, ladies and gentlemen. Tom Bernard
Do you want me
Show.
to read a few comments from the Jack's
Comments.
Cafe?
You know what's amazing about that? I was just thinking about talking about that very thing. The Jax thing is going so well.
It is.
Thank you to Billy over there. It was his idea. As a matter of fact, I'm trying to think of another game to play to hand out even more cash.
I like it.
23 hours in, and there's already 110 comments.
110 comments already. We've got a picture of the Bucky's beaver from Bill
Mahaffey.
Mahaffey.
Yeah, Bill Mahaffey.
Mahaffey. Didn't want to ruin his.
I know sometimes the
This,
last names are like, how do I say this?
Let's see. There's lots of Power 97 up here in the clubhouse. Love
Oh, yeah.
Jack's Cafe.
Yep.
Big money, no whammies. What does that mean?
It's a reference to Press Your Luck, I think. Big
Okay.
money, no whammies. I'm surprised I know this, but you don't.
Carl Franklin, who hasn't called in a
It's
long
been a
Carl,
time.
long
yeah,
time.
Carl. why
He
ain't
said,
calling
"Thanks,
anymore?"
Uncle Tommy. Who's better than you? Nobody. I'll hang up and listen." Got a hell
Yeah,
yeah.
there you go.
We had our wedding reception at Jack's upstairs going
Oh,
on
God,
43 years.
Oh, yeah.
43
Oh,
years.
Yep.
wow.
spot
Congratulations
for
on
that.
that. That's fantastic. Lots of, it's almost patio time up there.
Mm-hmm.
Bernard, control your monkey.
That
Bernard,
was
control your
Harry
monkeys.
Carey.
That was,
He was
yep,
on the show
there we
one time.
go.
And I can't remember who it was, but somebody kept making wisecracks to him. And there was a pause, and Harry goes, "Bernard, control your monkey."
Thomas Blomberg said that. Thanks for the chance. I'm telling all my friends. Would love to take my fiance. Everybody loves Jack's.
No question.
The family has spent generations of Saturdays at Jack's before and after Gopher games.
And I just love these spots because it just brings back such great memories of all of that stuff. I mean, I've
There-
been going to Jack since I was 18 years old.
There ain't no paper towels in ice cream. Anybody?
No, I don't
saw
know that
this
one.
morning.
Don't know what that means.
No paper towels in ice cream.
There ain't no paper towels in ice cream.
Okay, well,
paper
call in and tell us what that means.
towels in- I'm sure someone in the chat will know.
Yeah, someone will know.
I hope your podcast is going well.
It is thanks to you. It's growing like daily now, from what I understand. Andy, is that right?
Yeah, it seems to
Just-
be.
Just
Just
started
wonderful.
following you, Tom, and I'm really enjoying it. Order the trout.
Order the trout.
Jack's
Order the
couldn't have
trout.
a better spokesperson.
Oh, it's very sweet.
Here's my random comment for the Jack certificate. Yeah, lots of people making lots of fun comments. So
Yeah, we'll have to
we
do
could,
those.
we could do a whole
comments.
show on the comments.
Well, maybe we'll have to sometime because it's just honest to God. We just kind of took over the control in the podcast, what, about a month ago? Something like that, Andy?
No, it was, well, let's see.
Well, it's been
Control.
finished in the last week or so, actually. The whole,
Well, I mean, we did the switch over to the Art 19 platform like 2 weeks ago, but that was kind of incidental.
And are we all done with all of the migrating of the websites and
As
the
far as I know, everything is all done.
that's good.
and the app? Everybody can get on here.
Yep.
All right.
App is done updating the app, done updating everything. We
Thank
should
goodness.
finally be stable for at least a little while.
Oh,
Okay.
yes.
Chad in the chat says it was Stretch who was the monkey.
Oh, Stretch was the monkey. I think he made some smart ass comment to
Mhm.
Harry. And Harry said, "Barnard, control your monkey." That was fantastic. Tim Ivory
yes.
has a relative named Kelly Ivory. Remember that?
Yes.
Kelly Ivory. Dickhead. Check it out. Who would that was from an arrest or something,
Yes,
wasn't
it
it?
was from,
Yeah.
yeah,
Somebody was being arrested. He was dickhead. Check it out.
BICH.
Yeah, BICH. It was the same one.
Yep.
BICH.
Mhm.
I know. Like I said, though, the fun we're having, the more and more of you that listen and respond, send in emails or call in or whatever it is, it makes the show so much more fun to do because you're in. That's why the KQ Morning Show was the highest rated morning show in the entire United States, is because the people were a huge part of it.
Absolutely.
And that's what we're going to do with this show. That's what we're doing with this show. Well, you guys make the show. There's no question about it. We sit here and schmooze, but it's becoming more and more fun. And I absolutely love that fact. And thank you for telling all your friends about it because
Yes.
there's been no promotion of it whatsoever. And of course,
Mhm.
the Q said that I retired, which didn't help either. You know, you got the number one
Such
show for
helpful
40
people.
years or 37 years, and then you leave and they piss all over you. What is that?
It's not unique to you.
Oh,
No,
no,
it's
I'm
not.
not saying it
Sadly.
is. People are money grubbing pigs now. They just are. Everything's about money.
Yeah,
I
you're
wish
not
it
wrong.
worked, but we'll take our final break. Be right back and wrap things up right after this. You're listening. You're listening to me. Your customers are listening to me, and they'll hear me promote your business. You can reach an engaged audience. We're just talking about that very thing, as a matter of fact. Tom Bernard Podcast attracts thousands of listeners who are loyal, engaged, and ready to support business they trust. Proven results, too. Our podcast has helped numerous businesses increase traffic, sales, and brand recognition. We're not just about ads, we're about results. Whether you're a local business or a national brand, we offer custom advertising packages designed to fit your unique needs and goals. Our audience spans multiple demographics, allowing you to target your ideal customers with precision, from millennials to baby boomers and everyone in between. With the broad reach of the show and passionate following, your business will see increased visibility and awareness, translating into more customers and sales. So yeah, buy some spots, and then I don't have to work as hard, because I'm working really hard. I mean, that's the problem.
Yep.
Drum solo.
We are back to wrap things up, ladies and gentlemen. I love that show. First of all, you start out with Kristen, you finish with Chris. That's a damn good show. It's just going to be it's always going to be a good show. We're very lucky with that. So, Andy, if you would reach out to Pat Garofalo and Ryan, that would be wonderful. Because
If I have their information.
okay, well, I'll make sure you have it before I leave.
Oh, okay. You have it?
Yeah.
All right.
They're really, really good guys. And once again, one thing I loved about it so much, one's a Democrat and one's a Republican, and they're very good friends. And I love that about those guys, because that's the way I feel. I've been talking about that quite a bit lately. I like Democrats. I like Republicans. I just don't like these extreme psychopaths on both sides.
That seem to be running everything.
Oh, my God,
Sadly.
these people are nuts.
Yep.
I mean, I'm sorry. Joe Biden finds out he's got cancer, and some people hope he dies. What the hell is that?
Well,
It's the new thing.
I know, but look at how they were trying to get Trump.
I
Yeah.
know. Oh, that's
I wish they wouldn't. I
every
wish
bit
they
as
wouldn't have
bad.
missed. I mean,
Yep.
people are just horrible.
Yes,
They
they
have
are.
so much hate in their hearts right now, and it's just so sad.
I still don't understand why you want to live like that. Why do you want to live with so much hate in your heart? Makes no sense to me.
Well, I know that a lot of people are just sick to death of being lied to. We've been lied to
Well,
and lied
no
to and lied
question.
to. And this Joe Biden thing, yes, I'm so sorry that he has prostate cancer and that it is broken out of the capsule and it's in his bones. It's
Yep.
not a good thing.
Yep, it's
It
terrible.
is not a good thing. But the lying about him,
I
and
know.
that his cognition was good. Anybody with eyes could see
know.
his decline, and they just kept lying and lying. I blame the handlers.
Oh, there's
His
no question.
handlers, the people
no
that
doubt
handled
about it.
him, they really think that they were doing him a service. They think that they were doing the country
know.
a service by lying like that. This
Huh?
is a
True.
huge scandal.
I
It
agree.
really is. And it's just it's so sad that, I mean, in this day and age of information exchange, in 1 second, everybody knows what's going on, right or wrong, whatever, lie or not lie, truth or not. You can't operate on the old way of lies and cover up. You just
Yeah,
can't do it. I've
yeah.
never understood like the medical profession, how they'll just keep a terrible doctor who's harmed people in the
Mhm.
profession because they think it hurts the profession to get rid of the bad people.
I know.
No, that's just not how it's gonna. It can't be like that anymore. People are too informed. You can't just make up lies and cover stuff up anymore. It just makes everyone look bad,
It does. There's
and it
no
makes
question.
everyone nuts because people want the truth.
I just wish everybody would calm down. My God. But it's always been this way. I've been talking to other generations of people. And they said it's always been this way and it's always going to be this way.
I don't know. I think with this
think it's
information
worse.
exchange, I think things get worse before they get better.
Yeah.
I think maybe when this old guard of the politicians that are used to the
Yeah.
lies and secrets and cover-ups,
Yep.
when they go, maybe we can have like some fresh people that understand that you just have to tell the freaking truth.
It wouldn't be all bad.
Yeah. I mean, I just think that would be such a refreshing way to do things.
Yeah. What do you got, Andy?
Someone calling in. He and his friend both have some. One guy has a wheelchair, and another has an electric scooter that they want to donate to Reverend Tim's cause.
Oh, that's
Really?
very nice.
So I'm going to get them in contact with each other.
Reverend Tim. How they?
Oh, that's very nice.
Boy, what if Rev Tim? What if those two guys become governor? And oh my God,
I wonder what the odds are.
When is the election anyway?
When is it?
November.
And now Kendall Qualls is in there.
Is it this
Good
year?
guy too. KQ.
No, it's next year.
Is it?
It's
It's
next
November
year.
of next year.
Oh, it's
so
November of
we've
next
got
year,
a
okay.
while.
Is
to
Tim?
go.
How long can you be governor? Can you be governor
Forever,
many
I
terms?
think.
I don't think there's term limits.
I don't think
So
there
hopefully
are.
Walls will get out of there. I can't stand him.
Hopefully.
Yeah,
I
he's one
really
guy I
want
got to
him
admit, he's
gone.
not my kind of guy
Oh,
at
he's
all.
such a hateful character.
really
God,
is.
he's just
Mhm.
awful.
All of a
Typical
sudden,
Nebraskan.
Well, and I just love how I'm so moral and on the high ground, and all I do
Yeah.
is rip everyone else to shreds. It's
I
like that's
know.
not very moral.
I like how this list of people who've expressed interest in running includes Mike Lindell.
Yep, Mike Lindell's
Mike
thinking about
Lindell's
running.
going to be the governor of Minnesota. I think the state would implode like a neutron star if that ever happened.
That might happen.
Does he have any shot at all of My Pillow coming back and being a successful business?
Well, I've noticed that
don't
they're on
know.
Amazon now.
Are they?
Are they?
Well, that
Mhm.
helps.
Well, I
That
mean,
helps a lot.
honestly,
And they
the
wouldn't
being
carry
in
it
stores, does
before.
it actually matter anymore?
Probably
I
not.
wonder.
I don't know.
Everyone does everything through the internet nowadays.
Yeah, that's true.
Amazon or just Jet's still a thing. Jet.com.
I don't
Oh,
know.
yeah.
Jet.com just goes to Walmart.com now. So no, Jet's not a thing
Oh,
anymore.
it's not anymore.
But everyone delivers. I know Best Buy delivers, Target delivers, everyone
Mhm.
delivers. So
Yep.
it's like, I don't know. Home Depot, I know, delivers.
I know, but if you go to a Costco and everybody's grabbing everything, I mean, they buy stuff inside there.
They
I mean,
do.
if you can be, I know he was in Costco for a long time. They banned him, and then
Yeah.
Yep.
Bed Bath and Beyond, which is now they're all closing because of a pump and dump stock scheme.
That's what
Are
I
they?
heard. Yeah.
Yeah.
Bed Bath and Beyond is out of here.
Most of them are closed. Joanne Fabrics is going out of
Joanne
business.
Fabrics is going out of business. Used to be
Pump
one of the
and
biggest
dump.
business.
Yep, they got pump
Unbelievable.
and dumped.
Yep. Everything
That's
is
too
just
bad.
hedge funds buy them up. They inflate the stock. They sell it, and
Yep.
company is gutted.
Somehow they make zillions and everybody else loses out. I don't understand how that works,
Yep.
but they've got
I
it
don't
all
either.
wired in.
They sure do. Everything is done with computers now. The computers know exactly down to the millisecond when to buy these things.
Yep.
You know, when you think about it, was Joe Biden my kind of guy?
Uh-oh.
No. Is Donald Trump my kind of guy? No.
You're getting called out.
On
Uh-oh.
what?
D Hart is from Nebraska.
Uh-oh.
He just texted in.
D Hart's from Nebraska?
I didn't say anything.
Apparently,
That
yeah.
was my fault.
Yeah, D Hart from Stillwater. He's from Nebraska.
Okay, D Hart, never mind. I was only talking about Tim Wall's part
Well,
of Nebraska.
From what I understand is Nebraska doesn't like Tim Walz either.
Don't they?
I will tell you one thing, D Hart. One of my first times ever on the radio was, I think, was KFMQ in Lincoln, Nebraska.
What?
Yeah.
Why
Yeah.
were you there?
Yeah, because they had a friend who was going to Brown Institute with me at the same time.
Oh.
And I went down to visit his family, and they put me on the air down there.
KFMQ, huh?
I think it was KFMQ. I'm pretty sure.
Were
it
you
was.
nervous?
Lincoln, Nebraska.
KFMQ is in New Mexico.
Okay, that wasn't it then. It was KFMX, maybe KFM
KFMX?
something. It was KFM something.
KFMX is in Texas.
Where the hell is the KFMN?
Yeah, any
Maybe it is in
Nebraskans
Nebraska.
here? Any KFM
It was in
something?
Lincoln, Nebraska. And the thing about that,
Lincoln,
I will
Nebraska,
never
were
forget, and I can't remember the name of the
radio stations.
cars. We drove past
KFRX?
is that in Lincoln, Nebraska?
It is. Lincoln's
Oh,
hit
yep.
music.
That must have been
Rocks,
in
KF Rocks. that makes sense.
KFRX.
KFRX.
Yeah, that makes sense. Rocks. That makes
There it
sense.
is. Yep. It's been broadcasting since 58.
First time I was ever on the air was on that radio station in Lincoln, Nebraska. So I love Lincoln, Nebraska.
Oh, wait. What year would this have been?
And by the way, one of my dearest friends in the world, Philip Wise, was born in Nebraska. So there you
Yeah,
have it.
there you go.
When Andy wanted to know what year you might have been on that station.
That would have been probably 1970, 71, something like that.
Well, back at that time, it would have been KECK. Keck.
No, that wasn't it. When did it turn KFMX? Or what is it?
Very relatively recently, it looks like 2008.
Oh no, that was long before then. So I don't think it's the same radio
Huh.
station.
I wonder what it would have been.
It was long
Maybe
ago.
it's defunct.
It could be defunct. I mean,
the
radio
Agnew.
stations call the call signs change all the time.
Andy, why don't you look up the Agnew family owned the radio station, AGNEW.
Spiro?
Like
not
Spiro?
Spiro.
Oh, no.
Well, like Spiro, but
Spiro.
they were not related. to him. Roger Agnew was his name.
Oh, sorry.
Roger Agnew, huh? Let's see.
Yep.
Roger Agnew radio station. What do we got? Looks like 104.1 FM.
Then what-
KTAP.
Nah, they probably changed call letters.
They probably did.
They probably did, but that was probably the one I'm talking about, no question. But I'll close with this. I was driving into Lincoln, Nebraska to see Roger, have a good time, all the rest of it, and I went past the Nebraska football stadium. Nebraska used to be so dominant in football back in the 70s. I noticed there were about 30. What were the Chevrolet coupes that were so cool back then? Chevrolet.
I wouldn't know.
I don't know.
I don't know.
But there were like 30 of them. Now, how do these college students afford brand new coupes?
I don't know.
How'd that happen? That's what I want to know. All right. Well, we'll get it straightened away. We'll figure it out.
Oh.
But no, I have nothing against Nebraska. It's a wonderful state.
I get what you're saying.
Hey, Johnny Carson was born there.
Johnny Carson.
Famous
could
Nebraskans.
have
Here we
more
go.
Yeah, here we go.
Carson.
This is
We'll
going to be the
close
pro
with
Nebraska segment.
Exactly. Here we go.
Fred Astaire, Marlon Brando. How did you
Marlon
not
Brando was
bring
born
him up?
born in Nebraska.
Gerald Ford, Henry Fonda,
Henry Fonda.
Warren Buffett, Malcolm X. There you go.
See, look at all those people born in
You got
Nebraska.
your representation. Dick Cheney. Yeah, tons of people.
There's tons of them.
So there you go. Nebraska, best state in the union.
All right. That's going to do it. And we'll talk to you tomorrow.
Bye.
Got a picture in my pocket reminds me of this one was before.